Hi, welcome to a gentle practice. Just getting my screen a little bit more adjusted. My name's Kaylee. When you're ready, you can meet me in a seat. I sometimes like to mention if sitting just doesn't feel like the best way to start your practice, feel free to lie down and kind of replicate the gentle stretches that we're going to do in the seated position on your back. Once you've settled in, maybe shift the weight around side to side or front to back. You can find a spot that feels centered and then let your eyes close down or rest your gaze somewhere soft, right past the tip of your nose somewhere. Give yourself a couple moments to arrive, to open up to your sense of hearing and any sounds that might be present in the space. And let your awareness move to the sense of touch and any of the points where your body is resting on your mat or the floor, whether you're in a seat and it's your sit bones, or perhaps you chose to recline, just feeling into all of those points of contact between your body and the solid earth right beneath you. And shift your awareness to your natural breathing. You don't need to manipulate the breath in any way, but sometimes just noticing, bringing attention to the breath. You might naturally find it lengthening a little bit, maybe deepening a little bit. Let the process be gradual here as you very gently begin to lengthen your inhales, tracing with your mind's eye from your tailbone all the way up to the crown of your head. And slow down your exhales, retracing that path right back down from the crown of your head all the way back down. Again, a long inhale, let your belly expand, your rib cage expand as your lungs fill. And slow exhale, letting the shoulders melt, let the jaw relax, and maybe the hips and the belly even soften a bit. And once more here, long inhale, stretching the prana down all the way down into your belly. And slow exhale. Either in your seat or on your back, drop your right ear toward your right shoulder. Pause here for a moment without pulling or forcing. And see if you could just breathe some space into the left side of your jaw, the left side of your neck. You can stay here for another few rounds of breath. If you want, that right hand can come up over the crown of the head and reach the fingers somewhere around the left temple or the left ear. And I'm not actually pulling with my hand, I'm just letting that right hand be heavy. So it's like a little gentle overpressure. And if you're in a seated position and you used the right hand, bring your right peace fingers to your right temple and then press your head back up through the center. We'll switch sides, drop your left ear to the left shoulder. Feel the right shoulder and the right elbow continue to just drift down your back. Right elbow is heavy. And stay here or add that left arm up over your head, just gently resting it somewhere around the right temple or the right ear. Do a little check-in with your eyes. And soften the muscles around the eyes, whether they're open or closed. I suggest closed a lot for this practice. You can absolutely blink the eyes open anytime you need a little visual cue or Anytime your own nervous system just wants to take a peek around, and then close the eyes down again when you're ready. Bring your left peace fingers to your left temple and bring your head right back through the center. Stay here, take a breath in, and let it go. Blink your eyes open. Meet me in a tabletop position next. We're going to come to hands and knees. Straight arms. Go ahead and draw some circles with your torso over your wrists. Nice. Maybe they're small circles, maybe they're big circles. Try and find some space in the lower back. So for right now, your lower abdominals are just gently engaged. Switch the direction of those circles that you're making. Feel the weight shift around the palms of the hands, to the outer edge, the inner edge, to the heel of the hand. And then we'll come through the center. Extend the right leg back behind you, staying on the ball of that right foot. And then we're going to rock back into the heel. So we're stretching out through your right heel and Achilles, right calf. Shift forward, untuck the right toe so you're on the top of the right foot, and then rock that foot side to side. If any of this ever feels uncomfortable, slow things down and reduce the range of motion. Let's go ahead and roll back to the ball of the foot. Shift forward, float the right leg up, right in line with your right hip. You can stay here or reach your left arm forward, finding your spinal balance, setting your eyes down, maybe about a foot or two in front of your right thumb, which is still on your mat or on the ground. Take a breath in. We're going to release the hand and the knee down, widen out the knees, and press your hips back to a child's pose. Stay here, letting yourself melt into it. Couple rounds of breath. And one more deep inhale. And long exhale. And shift forward, come back to that tabletop position. And then this time the ball of the left foot stretches back. Go ahead and push into your hands to press back through that left calf, heel, ankle. Notice if you picked up any tension around the jaw, soften the hinges. And shift forward, come on to the top of that left foot, and then that foot swiveling side to side. So your hip may come along for the ride. It's totally fine. See if you can create a little bit of stability so you don't feel like you're wobbling without any support here. Come back to the ball of the foot, press it back, shift forward, and then we're going to float that left leg up in line with the left hip. Draw the lower abdominals in so there's lots of space through your lower back. Stay there or reach your right arm forward, keeping your gaze down a foot or two in front of your left thumb. Notice if you started to hold your breath, can you take those natural inhales and exhales? One more, breathe in. And then child's pose, wide or narrow knees, you choose. 3 deep breaths once you get there. And one more breath, really allowing yourself the space to stretch, to melt. And this time, go ahead and pull yourself all the way forward to Sphinx pose, setting your hips down onto the mat or the ground. You don't actually need a mat for this practice. Go ahead and separate the feet a little bit wider than hips distance and kind of rock through the hips and the ankles there. You're propped up on your elbows or your forearms. The palms can be facing downward or upward. You can even catch the opposite biceps here. Start in your Sphinx by lengthening the crown of the head away from your breastbone. So we're actually lengthening through the spine, even though it's in that extended shape. Eyes are straight forward, or maybe you start to move your gaze slightly upward. Again, not forcing it, just experiencing the natural range of motion for today, giving yourself some time to ease into these shapes. So much of our days can feel so hurried from one thing to the next, and a yoga practice, especially one with this intention of more gentleness, more patience, is a really great opportunity to experiment with tolerating going slow, letting go of that sense of urgency or control. Breathe in. And then lower all the way down. Stack the backs of your hands so that you can drop your forehead straight down to create a little pillow. I like to turn to the side just because my voice gets more muffled, but if you can, keep the forehead straight down so the back of the neck is nice and long without that rotation. And feel the rebound sensations in the lower back as that tissue there opens up to a resting length. When you're ready, go ahead and zip your legs up back behind you. So feet together, slide the fingers back by the sides of the ribs. Come onto just the tips of the fingers as you roll it up into cobra. Keep lengthening the toes back, so you can crawl them back so you're on the tops of the feet. And a lot of length there in the legs. Stay here, hover your arms up off of the floor. We're going to reach the arms forward and tap the forehead down, tap the fingertips down. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, pull right back and up. Eyes stay focused downward. Reach the arms forward, tap the nose or the forehead down, take a breath in. And exhale, pull back. Once more, inhale, reach, tap the head. Exhale, pull it back, hold here, wing your arms by your side. You can stay here or you can interlace the hands at the lower back. Keep pressing down into the front of the hips, stay here or lift the legs up. They might not come up very high, that is fine. Find a stretch that works for your body right here, right now, that you can breathe. Deep, full breaths for 3. Maybe you close your eyes. Soften the brow for 2. Take another long inhale. And then release it down. Recreate that little pillow. Drop your forehead down or turn your head to one side or the other. And tune into the sensation of your breath. Start to work your way back to a tabletop position, coming to hands at knees. This time, we're going to find cat and cow. So round your spine, curl the tailbone down toward the knees, pull your belly button in toward your back, and then tuck the chin toward your chest. So you're really arching your spine. Let the shoulders move toward the ears. And then start with your tailbone. Pelvis is going to tilt. Let the belly drop. Pull your heart forward and take your gaze forward or upward for cow. In cow, it might feel good to look over to the left shoulder and gently look over toward the right shoulder. Back to the center. If you added those little shoulder glances, and then cat pose around your spine, press the floor away, take it slow and steady. Couple more, move with your breath, find cow, take a nice long inhale as you arch your spine, lift your gaze. And cat as you exhale, round into it, spine curling around. Again, inhale. And exhale. And a neutral spine from here, we're gonna take a down dog just as a transition. Down dog can be a nice place to kind of check in. Maybe you pedal it out a little bit, bend the knees a bunch, give your head a gentle shake or a nod. And then we're gonna look forward toward the right pinky finger. Step or help your right foot outside of that right wrist. And then drop the left knee down. So we're finding a lizard lunge. You can stay on the palms. You might even tent the fingers or grab something firm to place underneath the hands if you want to bring a little bit of the earth closer to you. You also have the option, keeping your spine long, to start to melt down onto your forearms. Feel free to angle your right toes out to the right a little bit, as long as that feels okay with your knee. And just notice where you're holding tension in your body that's not associated with the pose. So for me today, sides of the neck and the back of the skull. And instead of trying to fix, right, once you've found that spot where your body's tense, maybe it's the wrist, maybe it's the shoulders, perhaps it's somewhere else, maybe you've got some GI stuff going on, whatever it might be. Instead of trying to fix it from the outside by adjusting or moving, well, of course you can if you need to make sure that the body feels a little bit more supported. If you're in pain, adjust, absolutely. But outside of that, see if you can just breathe into those areas that feel tight. Soften around those edges with tension. And smooth out your breathing. Just 2 more rounds of breath here, breathing down into wherever you feel the stretch. And start to work your palms back under your shoulders if you walked onto your forearms. We're going to tuck the left toes under and lift the left knee up. Big transition here. Lift your hips up a lot. Shift the weight towards your hands. You're going to help the left foot or big step the left foot outside of your left hand for Malasana, finding your yogi squat. Toes are out, heels are in. Might feel good to shift your weight from side to side, find some length in the spine here. When you're ready, bring the hands down, lift the hips up. We're going to step the right foot back, drop the right knee, and find lizard lunge on this side. Maybe you adjust the distance that your left foot moved forward, find that sweet spot. You can stay on fingertips, on palms, or maybe if the body invites you down onto the forearms. No matter where you end up in the shape, in the posture, see if you can continue to coach your mind to tune into your rhythm of breathing. Bring a little bit more length to your inhales. And smooth out your exhales. Keep following your breath, long inhales. Smooth exhales. And start to work your way back to the palms if you reclined onto the forearms. We're going to lift the right knee, step the left foot back, and find your downward facing dog. Take a breath. Moving into half pigeon on the right. When you're ready, bring the right knee forward. Lengthen out your left leg back in space behind you. I like to stay lifted for a moment if you prefer to get right into your folded version and drop the torso forward, feel free. Otherwise, we have a little bit more of a back bend, a little bit of extension here, a little opening through the chest. And then eventually let yourself walk the arms forward and settle. You can absolutely create another pillow by stacking fists underneath your forehead or backs of the hands. And the first few moments of the shape is often just getting to know it, making little adjustments. And eventually allow your body to find stillness. It's so helpful to pause from time to time, get still and breathe, and maybe just have an opportunity to get a little more perspective on what a blessing it is just to be alive. It's easy to lose sight of that when we're caught in the mind and on that kind of intense speed that life likes to come at us, trying to make sure every box gets checked, make sure every role that we play gets acted out just right. It's so important to give yourself these moments to just appreciate the simplicity of the breath, the easy to overlook profoundness of sensation in your body. When you're ready, start to lift the chest up. We're going to tuck the left set of toes under. Maybe lean forward, push into your hands, lift the left knee, and then downward or three-legged dog. Pause, take a breath or two. And then half pigeon on the left, staying upright for a few rounds of breath if you prefer, or drop right into your folded variation. Once you do land, breathe in a way that helps you feel more connected to your body, to the sensations, and to the moment. And give yourself just a couple more rounds of breath. Start to work our way onto the back. You can absolutely take another down dog if that feels like a good idea. Eventually, make your way onto your back. You can draw the knees into your chest. Bring your palms to the tops of the knees. And then we're going to just circle the knees in opposite directions. So a little wax on, wax off. Let your tailbone tuck and untuck. So the lower back just comes along for the ride. Maybe switch the direction of those knee circles. We're going to keep hold of the right knee and extend the left leg. Give your right knee a good hug in toward your chest. And then draw the right knee across your body to the left. You can use your left fingers and the crook of the right knee to hook it into place. T or cactus your right arm out to the side. Either keep your nose pointing straight up or tip your chin to the right. When you're ready, slowly come back to the center. Bring your left knee into your chest. Extend the right leg out on the floor in front of you. And then take your twist. As we move toward a close to the practice, it might be a nice moment to consider the ways in your life that you take care of yourself. Right? The practice just here right now, certainly. But perhaps there's other ways that you engage with that help you feel healthy and well and resourced, and whether that's staying hydrated or going to bed on time. Just considering maybe one or two things that you do or that you could do more of that help you stay centered and feeling as good as possible. When you're ready, come back through the center. And we'll set up in either a traditional shavasana, or you can choose to take legs up the wall, or a bent knee version of this shape. But settle yourself into a posture where there's as little effort required as possible. And practice letting go of that effort. Practice allowing yourself to rest and to be held and to be supported. We'll be here for just about a minute together. You can listen for my voice to end our practice shortly. When you're ready to move on with your day, you can invite some deeper breath and some movement back into your body. Maybe you nod the head or rotate the wrists, wiggle the toes. Take your time to meet me in a seat. Being really deliberate about closing these practices, these moments where we are taking care of ourselves deliberately, intentionally. Bring your hands to your heart. Sit up tall, and we'll close with a cleansing breath as you release your arms out to your side. Inhale, reach up and over your head, big stretch. And then let it all go. Thank you for sharing some of your time. Keep taking great care of yourself. I hope to see you soon.